Good afternoon, Key Stage 4. Here we are at the end of another week. It's a great pleasure to welcome you back to another virtual assembly. Quite a few things to go through today, so we'll get cracking straight away. The first thing is to say to Year 10, what an absolute pleasure it was to have a chance to chat to so many of you on Tuesday. So thank you very much for making yourselves available for those phone calls. Talking to the rest of the Year 10 team, it really reminded us what we are missing in kind of seeing you guys day to day. So it was lovely to have a little chance to have those chats and see what you've all been up to. Off the back of that, I know from talking to the rest of the Year 10 team and looking at the log that there was a lot of support given out, a lot of advice. I know a lot more of you now have access to Seneca where maybe you had problems before. I know lots of you now have access to workbooks where maybe you didn't have anything before. It's really, really important that you take on board the advice that your tutor gave you. Because when they phone next week, they're going to be looking for progress against where you're at this week. So the conversation next week will be based on the data. It'll be based on, what we can see that you've done. So make sure you're making good use of your time and that you're around for those conversations next week. So as I said, it was a real pleasure to have a chance to call you and speak to you in person. But just a reminder that you don't have to wait for us to call you. If you have any questions at all, please contact the school. And that's what we're here for. We're still open and we're still responding every single day to questions and queries. So you can email info@arkbolton.org.uk or you can call us. The information's all on there. You also obviously have access to the Sharp system. Just log onto the website, click on the Sharp system link and make use of that if you have any concerns or worries. Just a reminder, if you are using the Sharp system or you're emailing, please make sure you put your full name and your tutor group on there, so that we make sure we get back to the right person. But don't wait for us. If there's anything you need to know, get in contact. The next thing is just a quick recap for Year 11 about your college applications. Just a reminder about what we said last week. So first of all, college applications are still open. So if there are still places you're wanting to apply to, you can do that. Get onto the website and they all have an ability to apply virtually. So if you still need to apply for places, do that now. The second thing is that if you haven't heard from a college that you've applied to and you're not sure whether you've got a place there, please get in contact with them. We've been calling around colleges. We've been collecting data to try and make sure it matches up with what we think you're doing. But if you have any doubts of your own, please take the initiative, take the responsibility, call that college and just check that everything is right. As you know, they've been hit hard by the COVID crisis as well, which has made their admin situation much more difficult. So if you haven't heard back from someone or you're not entirely sure, call them yourself. And the final thing is just a reminder about virtual open days. So I still haven't had any more details from colleges about specific dates, but keep an eye on your college's websites because most of them have got plans for virtual open days in the next few weeks. So keep an eye on the websites. And sign up for those as soon as they happen. Okay, so you know at Ark Bolton that we want all of you to be high flyers, but the next thing I need to tell you about might make that a little bit more literal. So we've had genuinely an unbelievable opportunity pointed in our direction for anyone who's interested in flying or becoming a pilot. There is an organisation called Fantasy Wings that's going to be funding the cost of training and a private pilot's licence for 3 Black, Asian and ethnic minority young people in the next year. So just to put that into context, in order to get a private pilot's license, that normally costs somewhere in the region of £10,000 to £12,000. And this organisation is offering it to young people for free. On top of those 3 full sets of training and private pilot's licenses, they're also offering 50 additional places to receive a trial flying lesson. So not the whole thing, but a chance to get behind the stick of a plane and fly with an instructor. Everyone listening to this is eligible for it. And I mean, I cannot stress to you how incredible this is as an opportunity. So in order to get involved in this, you need to get yourself over to www.fantasywings.co.uk. You'll find all the information there. The sign-up page to reserve your space for next year's programme. Just one thing to note, you will need your parents to help you to complete this registration, okay? If this is something you're even slightly interested in, please go to the website, have a look, Someone needs to be biting their hand off to get this. The purpose of this week's message is to shine a light on all those people who've taken on the role of a carer for friends or family. This week is National Carers Week, so I wanted to spend a few minutes reflecting on what it actually means to be a carer, and to think especially about young people who have taken on those caring responsibilities. So a young carer is someone under the age of 18 who helps to look after someone, either a family member or a friend, who's ill or disabled or suffering from substance abuse. Officially, there are more than 166,000 young carers in England. But in reality, this number is actually much bigger because so many young carers remain completely hidden from view. Sometimes this is because people feel ashamed or embarrassed by the situation that they're in, or often it's just because people don't realise that there's actually a huge amount of help out there. These young carers are amazing, brave young people who are sacrificing part of their own lives to care for family or friends. But the fact is that they don't have to do this alone. We know that being a young carer can affect a young person's health, it can affect their social life, and their experience of education. And it's vital that young carers know that they are entitled to the same quality of life and education as every other young person, and that they don't have to do this on their own. So that's why the focus for Carers Week this year is making caring visible, to ensure that the carers get the information and support that they need from services, from the wider public, and from their friends. So if you or someone you know is a young carer, please go to www.carersweek.org for all the information about how to get help and support. You can also use the SHARP system to let school know, because there's lots that we can do to help. Young carers are amazing people, and they deserve our respect and our support. And that leaves us with just enough time to celebrate the great work you guys have been doing with some shout-outs. So shout-outs this week go, first of all, from psychology, goes to Hamna Ashak. For English, they go to Zishan Fawad, Yusuf Mahmood, and Samira Khan. For history, we've got Samaya Mahmood. And for science, we've got Amal Rahman, Mohammed Shwaib, and Zayn Mahmood. So excellent work from all of you guys. A bit of a challenge there for everyone else. You've had a word with your tutors this week. They've told you what you need to do. So I'm really looking forward to having a good 2 pages full of shout-outs next week based on the work you're going to do now that you're all super motivated. So look forward to that next week. Finally, that just means we need to award the Amazon gift card, which this week goes to Amna. Absolutely fantastic work, Amna. Miss Sagu was super impressed. She was absolutely insistent that you deserved it this week. And there's just an example there of the sort of quality of work that Hamna is producing. So she's not allowing the fact that she's at home to let her standards slip at all. Excellent stuff. Right, guys, have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourselves, have a nice break, and back to it on Monday. All the best. Take care of yourselves. Bye.